34 out of the 125 clubs in the district are corporate clubs. That means people are doing Toastmasters while they're at work. That kind of makes sense, considering some people do this for their professional development. My guest this morning on my way to work is Alisa Williams. Is Toastmasters in cars getting breakfast, or at least coffee. Hello, Miss Alisa Williams.
Hello, Mr. Noel Vinay. Cheers.
Miss Distinguished Toastmaster,
Yes.
Alisa Williams.
Finally. Took about 10,000 years.
Oh man, it's not 10,000 years, although
10,000.
I do have to admit, it's funny when I go through the Toastmasters closet and I see all the stuff. You had coasters with your name on it. I thought that was pretty impressive with the whole executive committee.
Executive committee, yes. I can remember when Joanne made those. Joanne...
Dharmafal?
Dharmafal, yes,
Wow.
yes.
I don't know if you know this, but she was over at Motorola, and they were at
Yes.
that time starting their Toastmasters. So
Right.
I got to check up with that.
She's still there, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
So I know, that's why I got to check up with people.
okay.
You are part of what club?
I am part of the Nalco Toastmasters.
Woohoo! Yay! 5,004.
And I am also part of DuPage Valley Toastmasters, a community club, Club 156.
One of the oldest clubs,
Yeah, I was
right?
going to say 63 years.
Yeah, 63 years. It's kind of funny. There's a club that's in District 30. It's the oldest club, but the club number is 169.
Okay.
And I found out way back when was apparently anything that was less than 500, they kind of recycle the numbers, so that means if they lost a club, they use the number again. So that's why, even though yours says is 163, theirs is the older club. Yeah, 156. We also have one of the other clubs that we have, Park Ridge, that they just celebrated their 70th over the summer. Now, you have been in Toastmasters since what?
I think 2003.
2003. Here at Nalco.
Here at Nalco. This is where I joined. Antoinette Manning Mullen, my most favorite person. She had been a Toastmaster for a long time at that point herself, as well as been at Nalco for at least 25 years at that point. And I was in the credit department, which I'm still in the credit department. She was in treasury. And she just grabbed me and said, "Come on, girl, we going to Toastmasters."
And you had no idea what it was.
I didn't have any idea what it was. I went to the club. I didn't have any intention of joining, but she was like, "Come on, girl, you gonna join." That's just the way Antoinette was. And so I joined. I think I immediately became some role, VP of Education or something. And I've been in Toastmasters that time, and it has really, I can remember I used to stand up and I do speeches and I cry.
Cry?
And, yeah, that's my trigger for stress.
Oh, wow.
So I'd be stressed. And it's funny because I laugh. I talk about, I mentioned there's another woman here who she used to break out in hives when she stand up, and she's still here. She actually has been since then. Her manager insisted that she join Toastmasters so she could get past that, because she was so, very talented. And so she has since moved tremendously. Yes. But myself, I would just, the stress that I would have is I couldn't express I had to contain my expression. And so by containing my expression, that caused stress, and then the stress caused tears. Because that's the way I release my stress.
Warning, Toastmasters may cause you to cry, laugh, or get hives.
So I went from crying to being evaluated as having a pregnant laugh. Right.
Okay.
So after certain sentences or phrases or whatever, then I do this laugh. It's
Yeah, but I mean, you have one of the things that I remember, like, from coming into Toastmasters, that you always have this happy demeanor when you give a speech. Right off the bat, you got a smile on your face, like this is going to be an awesome speech. You haven't even heard a single word, and we already know that you set the stage. It's going to be really good.
Well, I'm telling you, when I really think about it, I was comfortable speaking, but I wasn't comfortable doing prepared speaking.
Okay.
So that was where I really had to grow, and I've overcome that. I've come to know that I cannot write out my speech. I can write it and study it and do all those things ahead of time, but to take a written speech and put it on a lectern while I'm up, I'll speak and I'll do all of my excess speaking, and then I'll go back to the paper and then I'll read it just in case I miss something.
No, and then it's good because I know some people, even for myself, when I remember when I gave my icebreaker, I really typed up every word I was going to say.
Yeah.
And I knew that was not going to turn out well, but over I can't say years, I've only been Toastmasters before, but over time I learned that if I just put like the key phrases that I want to talk about, key points, then it's easier. Then that's when it made me shy away from the paper. Because now I can remember off I had 3 points.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then that helps you.
And that helps me to stay in time as well. Because I can go with a Post-it note. It's probably best. So I keep those points to a minimum, and I've studied. It's not like I haven't studied or written or done all those things ahead of time. But to get up and speak, I just only have to have Post-it notes, because then it allows me to just have that freedom to speak. And of course, my thoughts are organized, and I pretty much know what I want to say.
Yeah, yours is clear and very concise, very succinct. So here's something that I started doing a little bit of research because this is the reason why I approached you when I was VP of Education was, oh my God, this woman is this close to getting a DTM.
I know.
And she hasn't gotten
This is my DTM coach.
No, but
he was like, here a year.
I'm like, it will be done.
Yes, it will be done.
You were the original Operation so-and-so DTM. Right now, there's about 20, 30 people that every time I have a conversation with them and I find out how close to DTM, I said, okay, what we're going to work on is Operation Garrett Gray, DTM, or Operation Sue Rosenfeld, DTM. To kind of get it to their head that you're this close.
Yes.
Stay focused. You got 1 year. You're working on the traditional program because June 30th.
Right. And I wanted to do it. I mean, I wanted to accomplish that because I had already served in the district. I had served a couple times, I think, and it was just refreshing to have someone to want to help me. Well, I'm always helping everybody else.
Yes, and that's the thing. I tell everybody, it's like when you start helping everybody else, that it actually helps you back. You just never realize it. Did you know how close you were before we had the conversation?
Oh yeah.
So it was like a few speeches, and if I remember correctly, it was coach, sponsor, mentor.
Right, and then remember they had changed some of the requirements, so I think I never did get my ALB or one of the things that they had pulled out because I had the requirements, but then it just allowed me to get the next step.
So one of the big pieces I still remember was because at that time I was already serving as West Division Director, was you just needed to coach, sponsor, or mentor. And you've been asked, and like I've been asking everybody else in the district trio, you got to get this lady. She served as an area governor for, it wasn't really west at that time, right? It was southwest here with Naperville, Toastmasters.
Southwest, yes.
We are Republicans.
I think I had, We Are Republicans, Beyond the Seas, Nalco, Office Max.
Yeah, over here, long gone. But
and Navistar.
Navistar, okay.
Yeah.
So it's funny when you mention that because Nalco's in West 71 now. Navistar, which is now known as International Speaking, is in West 73. Naperville Riverwalk Naperville Toastmasters 72. And then We Are Republicans actually closed down this past year.
What?
Oh, honey, we got to talk about that.
Oh, my.
I know you actually enjoyed being an area governor.
I enjoyed being an area governor because I did it with purpose. So the purpose was so that I could learn how to manage multiple groups. So and each group had their requirements. Again, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And then as a team, then we all had to come together and become the greatest area that there was. And of course, I was going to be President Distinguished. We missed it by a few points, so we became President Select, the Select whatever area. And
but that's not bad. I mean, when
No.
you say an area being select, distinguished, that means half the clubs that you had were distinguished or better, plus one. So that's not bad. I mean, it was just a matter of building a club.
Yeah.
And that's difficult because, that's one of the biggest things in Toastmasters. You help share what Toastmasters is about and build a club or support clubs that are struggling.
And you know what else it does? It not only increases your network, but it also gives you exposure to different ways that people speak. I was very accustomed to being here at Nalco and things being technical speeches and people talking about their cats and
I know, I've
from,
seen all
like,
those speeches
all
in a
kinds
club.
of ways. But I never heard similar speeches at other clubs. They were either working, like Beyond the Seas, of course, was a
Advanced club at that time.
club at that time. So there were people who were practicing for the international contest, or so it was always interesting, always challenging.
You are big on youth leadership.
I am. I love young people. I love that whole. I know it's because as a 12-year-old, my mom was single. She had to work all the time. She told me I was a genius. I was so smart. I was this, that, and the other. But what do you do as a smart kid?
What's your avenue?
What's your avenue? What is it that you do for extracurricular activity? What do you do when your mom is not at home and you can't get to other things and be participant in, sports or whatever? And then sports, a lot of times, even as I was growing up and even when my kids were growing up, after 12 years old, they don't have those community programs. What do you do from 12, my favorite age, from 12 to 15 and a half? Because you can't go to work, you can't drive, what do you do?
So this is like an awesome avenue.
That's exactly right. And so the club I have 4 boys right now, 5 boys, 2 sets of brothers, and another young man that's coming. I told him, bring your friends.
Yeah, so you're building it up, and it's youth leadership that's a part of now. In the old program, the traditional program, that's one of the requirements for advanced leadership gold. The great thing I was happy about in Pathways, that's a part of club building because these people will become Toastmasters.
That's exactly right. So the whole point of us doing that youth leadership program in Girl Stream, as much as I love kids, it was so that as the parents saw how valuable this is, then they would come and join our club.
That's good.
So that was reaching out to the community and really trying to get the kids involved because kids are always a draw for parents. Right?
So, it wasn't breakfast, but I mean, because we're at work, I figured we'll just have coffee and we got the chance to talk. And this is awesome because I get to interview somebody from my own club here.
Yes.
And you're actually
one
one of the reasons that when I look at Toastmasters, you are, when you say Toastmasters for life, that's like, what's Alisa said
that is my slogan, Toastmasters for life. I'm trying to wait for the t-shirt. I don't know why I'm waiting for the t-shirt. I should make the t-shirt.
I know, it's like trademark.
That's
it's got
exactly
that.
right. With a 4.
Yeah,
Toastmasters for life.
So, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Noel. It's always fun being with you. Noel is just a great person.
Hey, thank you so much for watching Toastmasters in Cars Getting Breakfast. Hopefully you liked the video. Make sure you tune in next week for my next video. Until then, make sure you click on the subscribe button below, hit the bell so you get notified of the next video, and of course, like and comment. We're Toastmasters, so you know we're big on that whole feedback thing. Until then, thanks. See you then.